It is the Riot on RadioU. Right now, Nikki, I am refreshing pages on internet retailers to see if maybe I could get my hands on a graphics card today. And the answer to that is obviously no.
No, but you don't want the one that came out today, right? You used to want the bigger one or the faster one?
I do. The kind of hope was that maybe in dropping a bunch of their new card, that this other card would also get some stock today.
I see. Does it make it into the podcast today about the graphic card launch?
You know what? We'll put it in there.
Just throw that in there.
Because there's like at least one or two people that are mildly not interested at all. So we'll just go ahead and, keep that in the mix. No problem.
Welcome to the podcast. We will be talking about that coming up.
Yeah, and just to let you know, the retailers that I'm looking at, all their websites just crashed. All of them.
It's right on time.
All of their websites just crashed. So you know what? Also in the podcast, we talk about what's going on at Disney. Not great news for them. We talk about candy and what we think is the best trick-or-treat candy out there.
Let me tell you, we I don't think we got through all the text messages, but there's, when we want to talk about a serious topic on our podcast or on our radio show, we'll get, some topic, some talk back with it. But when you talk about candy, you get so many people texting in that you have no trouble talking about candy. You like to talk about it.
People do like to talk about candy.
I'm amazed how many text messages we got just from that.
So we'll talk that Play-Doh for adults, and I don't feel like we really spent a ton of time on it today, but we definitely talk about the Oculus Quest 2 because I got one. So we talk about the game that I think would absolutely sell Nikki a virtual reality headset.
And it was Tetris Elite?
Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effects, that's it. Or Effect.
I'm telling you. Yes. Come on, Nikki. That would be you right now.
Well, I'll try it one day. When Obi brings it in, then I'll give it a try.
There you go. So, and one day my prince will come. We'll be back.
Enjoy the podcast today. Thank you guys for listening. And if you hear something you do want to talk to us about, you can text us anytime you're listening to this podcast. You just send it to 877 to RadioU. Put your name and that you're a podcast listener, and we'll get back with you. But we'd love to talk with you too.
Yeah, we absolutely love to hear from you. So you guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Okay, Nikki, I can get you to spend $299 plus tax and then an additional $30.
Okay, what do you think I would just not even question it and just go ahead and buy for that amount?
I got an Oculus Quest 2 yesterday.
You did. It came in.
I did. It did. It came. I haven't spent a ton of time with it, though I've spent some. And I will tell you that as someone that has used every piece of Oculus hardware they've made, this is impressive.
It's a virtual
really
reality headset.
And it's standalone, which I didn't think. I felt like I didn't even care about that. I just sat in a chair and then in my bed doing VR. And you know what? That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that way you can watch a movie.
But that's not what this is about, Nikki. I played a game yesterday. I just went ahead and bought it. I've heard so many people talk about it, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't want it. It's a Tetris game, and I'm like, I don't want to play Tetris. And I finally just decided, okay, I'm going to get one new thing. Everyone raves about this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. I feel like $30 was a little pricey to be paying for it. It is Lumines for the next generation.
Oh, really? What's it called? Lumines is a game that's been out. I mean, it's had its day, so I don't think it's as popular anymore. But, oh, my gosh. Obie and I fell in love with that game a long time ago, and it just has a very special place in our hearts. So what's the new version?
It's not
from
Lumines,
them, sure.
Right, but it gave me those feelings again. And isn't that what we're all chasing right now?
I think that's it.
Yeah, legit. You can watch a video of it, like watch a trailer for it. But you're playing Tetris in VR, and it's crazy.
So what is it called?
It's called Tetris Effect, EFFECT, And I'm telling you right now, if I put that headset on your face,
you would totally sell me
and
on
you played it, I know that I would.
Oh my gosh.
know I would.
Oh, is it on Xbox as well? So it's on other places.
Right, but it's not in VR. I'm sure the regular is fine and it's fun, whatever. But the VR thing was wild.
Oh, cool!
Like, so fun.
I'm so glad you got a new game to at least play with it.
Yes, I had to make myself stop playing it last night and go to bed because I was having a blast with that thing.
So do you use your hands to move the players to connect them?
No,
or not the players, but like the blocks and stuff, or what do you do?
Tetraminos. You just use the controllers, and one of them spins them, and one of them moves them down. So, I mean, you play it just like you would.
Oh, but you're just looking at it.
Right.
Oh, it looks amazing. It looks so much like Luminous, especially the background. And Luminous was always about the music and the beat with it.
And that's exactly what they've done with this. And like as you're turning things, like the more lines you get, they do different effects. The music changes, and also the haptic feedback, like the vibrations in the controllers, will change. And sometimes they'll go with the beat, and sometimes they'll go. I was blown away by it.
I just kept motion sickness or anything, because it seems very overwhelming.
No, not at all, actually. In fact, it was a very comfortable experience in VR because that's not the case with a lot of things, but that was one that...
There's plenty that will happily make you sick, but not this one. Oh, that's awesome.
But not this one.
If you ever bring in your new Oculus, since it's hands-free, or since it's, you don't have to plug it in, then you could bring it in.
No, you can count on it. It's coming in. It wants to visit you, and it wants you to see this.
I like it. So the game is Tetris Effect, and Obi's playing it on his new Oculus Quest, which came in yesterday.
Yeah, if it hadn't been so late last night, I would have called you. I was so excited to tell you about it. I was like, oh my gosh, Nikki has to know about this right now.
And again, because this old game Luminous that we used to play all the time, and it's come out for phones, it hasn't been the same. It came out for, consoles. It still wasn't the same as the original playing of, what unit was that on? It was the
PlayStation Portable.
That's it. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
I bought a PSP because of Nikki and Luminous.
We play that all the time. I think I even still had it for my Switch or something, but it wasn't the same.
It's not the same.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
So if you care, and some people really do, it's time for us to start transitioning from the fall drinks to the Christmas drinks already. Like that's where we are. We're already making that transition. So can't we have pumpkin all the way to Thanksgiving?
Well,
can't that be a thing?
People are ready to move on. I think we all are. You really only like pumpkin sometimes just until Halloween. It feels more like a Halloween, less like a Thanksgiving.
See, for me, Halloween feels like if you had jack-o'-lantern coffee, and then from Halloween to Thanksgiving, it was a pumpkin spice.
Sure.
And then after that, it was a peppermint.
No, I don't know. They just tend to. At least most of us, I feel like we go until Halloween, and then we're all ready for all the winter and Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the people at Dunkin' have announced that they're dropping their brand new, well, not brand new, they're bringing their holiday drinks back earlier than ever this year. Now, that's exactly what they did with the pumpkin spice stuff, too. They started the pumpkin spice in August of this year, and so they are bringing their holiday drinks, their Christmas stuff back on November 4th.
November 4th?
Yeah, I mean, that's the day after the election. We could probably all use it.
So November 4th, they're going to be, for Dunkin' Donuts, be announcing and releasing then the holiday drinks. Did they give like a list of what they'll all be, or you just wait until then?
No. I've got a list here. We've got Peppermint Mocha Latte. Mm-hmm. So that's a peppermint mocha flavor topped with whipped cream, mocha drizzle, and hot chocolate powder.
It feels like not a new thing. It feels like, probably every year.
Well, that they did have that last year. Also returning this year, the Gingerbread Latte, which will be a gingerbread flavored coffee topped with whipped cream, caramel drizzle, and cinnamon sugar.
Okay. Yeah, we don't normally go with the gingerbread taste.
No. The thing that is new this year is the chai oat milk latte. Now that sounds like you.
I could do that. Oat milk is super good. That and cashew milk, if you can afford it, is delicious. It's a not an everyday thing. It's a expensive and very calorie dense item, but man, they're so good. Oat milk is especially good.
It's a sweetened chai tea blend featuring cinnamon, cardamom, and nutmeg.
Oh, yummy.
I'll bet that is delicious. I'll bet it's delicious. So, all right, that hits the day after the election, so don't say you have nothing to look forward to. There's something there. And
remember, let's all just watch what we're adding to any of our beverages that day, whether you're happy or unhappy. Let's just stick with oat milk. Let's nothing else, okay?
You know what, Nikki? I think that's sound advice.
Okay.
Listening to the worst of the riot is the equivalent of standing in line at the BMV. Ugh. Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Can I say that I'm just tired of everything being hard to get? Do you know what I mean?
Like to purchase it and stuff?
Yeah, everything. And it's not just you're like, oh, here he goes on his stupid electronic. No.
Here it is about his graphics card. He just can't find it.
Okay.
Well, what else is there besides the graphics card?
I got it. Here it comes. Okay. I'm out of coffee.
Yeah.
As of I've got enough to get me through today. So I'm going to have to make some arrangements to get some coffee today. And, I decided I wanted some pumpkin spice coffee from Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have just in a bag, ground up coffee, whatever. I'm nothing else, not super fancy. It's gone. It's gone everywhere. It's sold out. And so then, it's on eBay for $40 a bag or something.
And that's why it's sold out. Everybody is bulk buying all this stuff and selling it because they know people are not getting into stores the same way they used to. They're causing the problem with it.
Right. And that's what I'm whining about is it's listen, I don't want to go wait in line at 4 a.m. for the grocery store to open in hopes that I can get a bag of this stupid coffee.
Well, they did, and now that's why you don't have any.
I know. And I mean, I guess this is capitalism. Yay, capital. I don't know. But I just know that I am tired of fighting, this culture of, hey, we'll buy it, we'll resell it online. I'm tired of it. It's just look, I want it, and I'm mad about it, but not enough to do anything about it.
Well, maybe there's a coffee bot problem. You know how bots buy up a lot of,
gosh.
Stuff in the entertainment and gaming side of things. Maybe there's one in the coffee world that we just didn't know about.
Man, I am not ready to live in this cyberpunk bot future where human beings can no longer shop and we must have bots do our shopping for us. I'm not ready, Nikki.
You're not ready for it? Well, you would get your coffee, though. That's the problem. You're not willing to adapt to the changing environment.
You're right. And you know what? I guess shame on me. But, I mean, when I was your age, when we wanted coffee, we just went to the store and bought it.
Well, all I have to say is just last year, that was more how it is. Now it's just so hard to find. Either they didn't have a chance to make enough and it's low stock, or it is people buying so much of it and then reselling it that you just miss out.
I just want one.
You just want one bag of coffee?
Just one.
I'm sorry.
I don't want a bunch. I don't want to make a whole thing out of it. I just want one.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, you can actually, if you wanted to pay $40.
Yeah, for $40, we can make all your dreams come true.
Oh, again, I don't know what to tell you.
Give me a break.
Did we see how much it is on Amazon? Starbucks pumpkin coffee? Is that what it is?
It's $35, I think.
Well, that's a little better. You could get the...
No, it's not.
You could get the K-Cups of it.
At $35, it better be civet poop coffee, is what I'm saying.
Well, there's the alternate coffee companies that you could at least get. It's $34. It's not bad.
No, Nikki, that's bad. I just want to let you know, as a coffee drinker, that's bad. That's absurd. And that coffee's not that good. It's good, but it's not that good.
So did you try the already made version, where it's in the 40 ounce, it's the pumpkin spice latte that you just pour out. It's already, you're not wanting that?
No, I just want straight black coffee with, and you know what? I had it at a friend's house. I was like, yeah, I want to get some more of this. And I've been trying, and it's like, no, no. You get nothing.
So Aaron said that they got a Starbucks pumpkin spice coffee, a big bag of it at Sam's Club.
Okay.
Is anybody else at Sam's Club that you can look? We're Costco members, so we can't get in. But can we meet you outside of the door?
Out back?
Yeah, out back. If you just buy it for us, we'll give you money.
Here's $20.
Go
Give
get
me all the coffee you can.
Yeah, see, then you would buy it all up.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Okay, so Nikki, I'm getting a lot of text messages. What I can't tell is if they're all just coming from the same person about the Oculus Quest.
Yeah, everybody wants to know. Obi finally got his Oculus Quest yesterday, and you had a chance to play a little bit with it, and seems like you're happy you got it.
You know what? I think of all the virtual reality things I've tried, I think it's probably the coolest. I haven't had a chance to plug it into my computer yet, so I'm waiting on the cable. That should be arriving today, and I'll take a look at that. Tim wants to know what the battery life is like on it. I have no idea. I haven't played with it. I mean, I don't think it's some secret that I'm not feeling well, so my playtime was limited, we'll say. So I would do some Googling to find out what the battery life is.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I'm sure give him a week or two when he's starting to feel better, and he'll be able to put it to its paces.
Yeah, I'd be able to answer that a little bit better, but it is. I just have found it to be an impressive experience. The actual, what do they call them? Like the visuals, like the graphics, the way it looks. Impressive, especially considering that I got a chance to play a couple of games, and it being a standalone virtual reality experience, it is impressive that it's not plugged into anything.
Well, I wondered down the road, for virtual reality, they want us to have, not necessarily the headsets for our everyday life, but some sort of goggles or headgear of a lighter version to where that's what you wear at work, that's what you wear instead of watching a TV, that's it. It makes me wonder, it's slowly getting towards that by it not being, you burdened by having all these wires attached to your computer. Will you like it more because you can just walk around with it safely?
Right. I don't know. The thing about it that I felt like was the coolest is that there are lots of things that are set up that you can just sit there with it if you want. So it's not like you have to get up and
stay at your
have
desk.
all these sensors. Yeah, I mean, I sat on my couch and was playing that new Tetris game. Aaron wants to know, how's the lag or delay? Haven't experienced basically any. I felt like it worked just fine. And Tim wants to know if there's zombie games. There are zombie games. There's an updated version of Arizona Sunshine that is just for the Oculus Quest. And then there's also this Walking Dead zombie game, but it's $40 and I'm not paying it. I'm
He's not going to do it.
Well, the thing is, I bought Tetris Effect last night for the Oculus Quest 2. It was $30, and I sat there for a long time because I was like, okay, it would be very easy for me to just start going like bing, 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 and just buying games for this thing. We're not doing that. We're holding off. I've bought a game. We're going to stop there for a while.
Well, maybe now you'll finally have some games that'll get discounted around Thanksgiving and Black Friday and stuff. You'll finally have some games you could get, and they'll actually be on sale.
That is something that I'm thinking about. Give me a sale, and we'll see about it.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on RadioU.
I'll say the Dodgers won the World Series, and it seems like nobody cares. Now, let me qualify that statement. I'm sure people care, but the story that has completely overshadowed them winning the World Series is what Justin Turner did after the game.
Well, they're saying it's kind of overshadowed it because they're not really sure how the team can celebrate. You know, some people want a parade. You can't have a parade now, but, you know, there's all these different things they want to do to celebrate the Dodgers winning. But this has put a bit of a unique spin on it because someone did not comply with COVID protocol.
Yeah, if you didn't catch what happened is that basically he got pulled out of the game because he had a positive COVID test. And so it was like the 6th inning, I think it was, or somewhere in there. Mid-game, he gets pulled out. The Dodgers going to win, and he was told to stay in place. He was told that he was not allowed to go out and celebrate. And then at some point, he was just like, screw you, and he just went out. No mask. At the very least, you would think he would put a mask on when he went out there.
Well, he had it for certain parts, and then he took it off and never put it back on. So it seems like he got caught up and never returned to wearing it.
And so in the middle of it all, you know, there's video of him shaking hands, hugging, high-fiving, and people are just furious that he did that. So it all comes down to that has become the story about the World Series. Not that the Dodgers, it's the first time they've won since like 1988. Nope, that's not the discussion.
That was
the discussion is this guy.
So Turner tweeted after the game, you know, he said, thanks to everyone for reaching out. He feels great. No symptoms at all. He just experienced every emotion you can possibly imagine, though, with, you know, the Dodger win. But people are saying, hey, it's still about other people. And to be around so many of his teammates without putting his mask back on, there's protocol. And then they're wondering what he'll face when it comes to the fines and stuff for that.
Yeah. My guess is in the moment he just decided he didn't care. And
yeah.
What I mean is I don't mean like he doesn't care about people or that he's a terrible person.
It just took over.
He just got really excited and decided, like, what are they going to do? Fine me? What are they going to do? Not let me play in a couple games? And he just went with it. So, I mean, was that good? You know what? I'm not here to judge. Whatever.
Well, I think, yeah, he got
yes,
caught
it was
up.
bad. It was bad.
He got caught up in the emotion of it and then just never put it back on. So just, I mean, he had in his brain possibly moved on to the fact that he won. And for some, especially with big occasions, people will take their mask off for pictures, not remembering they're taking pictures with tons of people right next to them.
Yeah. So, that continues to be the story, and I'll just go ahead and say what we're supposed to say, Nikki, and that is thoughts and prayers to everybody involved.
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
So, Nikki, the people at Burger King and Popeyes and Tim Hortons, did you know that's all the same company?
Oh, I didn't know they run each other.
Burger King and Popeyes are run by the same people. But in fairness, I don't think anybody actually runs Burger King. I think they just turn the...
Does it run itself because it's so smooth, or is it the other way?
It's just that sometimes they turn the lights on, and that counts as managing.
No offense, Popeyes is kind of similar. Tim Hortons, I think, is pretty good. I don't go there too often, though, to be able to tell. Is it very efficient?
I couldn't tell you. I pretty much never. Actually, all three of those restaurants, I want to go to Burger King. I want to have a good Burger King experience. I give them opportunities time and time again. They disappoint me every single time.
The ones that are in our area are just not. It doesn't seem to us run very well because, man, they always have a problem every time you go through.
So they are announcing their new predictive menu technology, which. You know, like they act like it's brand new. It's new to them, but we're starting to see this in other places. And the idea is that they will, the digital menus that they see, if you're part of their loyalty program, it will detect you and it will customize the menu based on the things that you like to eat.
Oh, that's kind of fascinating. So it'll tell through the app that you have on your phone that you're rolling through. Because,
yes.
You know, normally when you have an app, it's like, well, can you set locations whenever you're near a Burger King? And then it would pull up and show you things that it thinks you want to get when you're there. That's a great idea.
It is. It's something, I don't know how other people are doing their food these days, but like I don't go through a drive-thru unless I've already ordered on the app.
Oh, yeah, you've
like
switched over that.
I totally have. Like, I will sit in the parking lot, place my order, and then go through. And it's because, and I'm sure at some point this goes away, but right now you can always save a couple of dollars. And I mean like a couple of dollars. So, you're talking 20, 30, 40% of your meal there if you're willing to use the app, because they always have coupons and deals or whatever in the app. And it so far has been totally worth it.
So for this, they're saying the predictive technology will allow for special promotions to be tailored to you because they know what you like when you go through. It'll help with regional weather patterns, the time of day. They say a lot of that factors into what they're supposed to be offering you. Like, say you roll in and you're still a breakfast person and they still have that item available. They can still show you that it's there or completely take it off. Other upgrades that Burger King and Popeyes will be doing is more weatherproof enclosures when you drive through.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know. Nothing's the worst when you're like, why couldn't you just put a tarp over this thing? Why can't we have that? But they just leave it open. Some places do.
The only thing I can say that I wish Burger King was doing that is not listed here is serving food. I think that would be like, that's something that I think could be
areas.
That could be a huge innovation for them, where it's like you drive through, you order something, and they actually give you the thing you ordered. That would be incredible.
Well, that's not on this, so I don't know when they expect to roll that out. That might be down the road. Their plan to modernize the drive-thrus for Burger King and Popeyes will hit more than 40,000 digital screens, and it'll take about 2 years to roll it out to everybody. So not anything you might notice soon, depending on where you're at.
I'm getting excited about the possibilities. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you see on the little promo thing, like it would even show your name when you pulled up? It'd say, good morning, Obadiah, or hello, and it would have your name on there.
You know what this feels like? Remember Minority Report, the Tom Cruise movie, where like they would walk through the mall and it would constantly be yelling their name as they were walking through the mall, the advertisements?
Well, they think that if an advertisement is tailored to you in such a way that you're willing to then not fall for it, but buy the item, which I guess is fall for it.
You say that. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's 100% true, if just putting our name on the board will keep us as a loyal brand user or get us to buy more things.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
I want to say hey to Julia. She says that Burger King has the same effect on her that Taco Bell has on me.
Just not into it.
Burger King could call me the Queen of England. I will still never eat there.
Well, Julia, you've given them an idea. They're going to try it. So they need to push harder to get you as a customer.
Yeah, they do. Come on.
Well, thanks, Julia, for texting. She's in Pennsylvania.
Hey, if you told me that they put some kind of drugs in Burger King, I would totally buy it, because every once in a while I just get this weird craving for that flame broiled taste that they have on their burgers. But I am not making this up. I'm being 100% sincere about this. The last 3 times that I have gone to Burger King, I have come away with no food.
No food because you just canceled your order, or they didn't give it to you?
Because I just walked away. I'm not kidding. I waited at one Burger King. I was in line for 20 minutes and the line did not move.
Sure.
Because I actually decided, I was like, you know what? I want to long haul this. I want to see how long it takes. And it'll just be a show thing. We're going to see how long can I possibly sit at this Burger King and before I actually eat anything. And I'll say when we hit the 20-minute mark, I was like, you know what? We have officially crossed over to this is just a waste of my time.
Well, you can still, you just talk about the fact that you only could wait 20 minutes. That's as much time as you could give it.
Well, yeah, because, at some point you're just like, you know what? There's not going to be any food. I'm going to be here for the rest of the day, and the strategy right now is to see how long these idiots will wait in line.
Well, it's extra hard now because not every place has in-room dining. Like it doesn't have any in the fast food place open, but they're just not. Even the Wendy's near us, like I was driving through it yesterday, and I was just cutting through the parking lot for it. It was so full and so crowded that you couldn't even get around because there were so many cars. You couldn't exit because the line went so long that it blocked it. And I said to Eric, I was like, I don't think this is because everybody's just really wanting Wendy's. It's because it's just not running very well. They're not being very efficient through the drive-thru, so it just takes forever.
Well, you know what? Maybe they just decided. And you know what? I'm really not trying to badmouth you if you're working food. Like, food prep is.
There's a lot of people going through.
Hey, it's a tough job. I know it's hard. So you know what? You stay strong. I'm just gonna start. I'm just going to start eating peanut butter, okay?
Now we know that Obi's time, he'll only give each place 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
If you don't let him through in 20 minutes, he's leaving the line and he's not getting the food.
Well, after 20 minutes,
think that's generous.
Don't you think so?
I do. It shouldn't take that long.
I'm not a bad person for saying it after 20 minutes and the car hasn't moved, I'm just going to go ahead and take off. It seems reasonable,
I
right?
agree. I totally agree.
Oh, maybe I'm just a terrible person, but it wouldn't be the first time we've reached that conclusion on this show.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot Podcast.
It's going to be different for everybody, but I can tell you that in my neighborhood right now, tonight is Beggar's Night.
Yeah, for trick or treats.
Tricks or treats. So I'm going to obviously be watching Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown on Apple Plus because it's the only way to see it now. And I'm also going to be involved in probably what I'm going to call arbitrary but true arguments about what the best Halloween candy is. There.
I saw a few lists floating around today on like what people's opinions are on the best Halloween candy. Like when you were younger and you actually trick-or-treated, what were you the most excited to get?
I mean, there are a lot of different kinds of candy that I like, but I feel like when it came down to what did I feel the most treated, like I feel like I had really scored, is when I found a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Like there was just something about it. Like when I found a Snickers bar, I was like, dude, yes.
And a full-size one. If you got a full-size one, man, you were set for days.
Every once in a while that would happen, and I would be like, I mean, at that point, you're past winning the game. Like you're next level, stratosphere kind of stuff there. So, I don't know. But I'm looking at this list here, Nikki. Well, before we look at a list, what about you? What was to you, what would be the thing where you're like, dude, yes.
Now that I'm more grown up, Nikki, I prefer Snickers. But back then, I would love when you got a peanut butter cup, like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Those were always best.
All right.
Except
so
when they got smushed. Because sometimes they get smushed in the bag.
They do, don't they? Well, I'll tell you what. I've got this list that we can argue about, and we'll do that up in just a couple of minutes. Why don't you go ahead and text in what is the candy that for you're saying, like, hey, now I'm living. I'm alive now.
When you were trick-or-treating, what was, like, your favorite all-time one? Or, now as we just treat ourselves,
treat yourself.
What's the candy of choice that we are allowed to go for because we can have anything we want?
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Man, you start talking to the Riot audience about candy and look out.
You guys are more than happy to talk back with us at 877-2RadioU. That's where you can text. Just include your name if you've never texted before. That way we know who you are.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through some of these text messages. The question was, like, what candy did you get for trick-or-treat that made you feel amazing? Like, you really scored. Bridget says the Tootsie Roll Pop.
Oh, man. The
Bridget,
Tootsie Roll Pop was better than if you just got a Tootsie Roll. I'll give you that, but it's still not optimal. Right. It was still not the best.
No, yeah, Tim says Pixie Sticks.
Oh, yeah. We used to pretend to snort them or maybe sometimes snort them. I don't know.
You snorted them, didn't you?
I think we did.
You did.
I think we did. Real young.
Nikki's just like, man, I can't get off the smack.
That's what you did when you were younger. But yeah, those were good too. That would give you a little rush.
Let's see. Keith says that one of the stops on his trucking route was handing out leftover bags from their church's trunk or treat, and it had full-size Snickers in it.
Nice. Look at that.
Rachel says that the Kit Kat or 100 grand is how she knew that she scored. Eli, bottle caps because you can't find them otherwise.
What was Katie a bottle cap?
Aren't they like
bottle cap candy?
Currency in Fallout? I don't know, actually.
I've never. It looks like a sweet tart kind of, but it looks like it's in a box. I've never seen those before.
All right. Katie likes getting sweet tarts. She said that. Amanda said when she was a kid, she liked Kit Kats for Halloween. But now as an adult, she wants a Heath bar.
Ooh, that's a good call. I would like those.
I don't know if I've ever even had a Heath bar.
It's good.
Honestly. Bethany says, when I was a kid, I wanted Kit Kats. Now she wants Lily's chocolate, which is made of stevia because she can't have sugar.
That's a
that's very adult.
That's a grown-up chocolate if I've ever heard of one.
What? Nicole says small cans of soda that had Mario characters on them?
Why would you
didn't
get those?
get that.
We never got soda.
Whoa. Jim says he's looking for Swedish fish. Tom says his favorite.
Jim, I'll tell you, the trick-or-treat candy that I bought to pass out was from Costco, and there's a party pack of like a ton of stuff. There's Swedish fish in there. You may have those if there's any left over.
Hey, I will tell you, if you can get Swedish fish that are fresh,
I don't know.
They're okay. But I mean, basically, once you open them, you have approximately 30 seconds to eat them.
Before
and after
they're
that,
really bad.
Yeah. Tom says his favorite candy was the orange and black wrap candy that didn't have a label on them.
I didn't think we were supposed to eat those.
That I remember being told that, oh yeah, those are poison, don't eat those. But those are actually called peanut butter kisses.
Oh, they are?
And I actually love them. Like, I'm a fan. So I'll take them if you get any left over. Brian says he loved Bit-O Honey. We're talking favorite Halloween candy here. Chuck says the 100 grand. Stacy loved getting Snickers or Fun Dip.
Oh, I never got that trick-or-treating.
I scoff at a pixie stick, but Fun Dip,
it's fair game.
On.
That would be fine.
Come on, Fun Dip. And then Amanda says she doesn't like Swedish fish. So, it's fine. I get it. Everybody's going to have their own thing, and that's okay.
Listen, candy's personal, and you don't have to share.
It is.
You don't have to share if you don't want to, because you don't want to pick, like, what if the candy that you like is not something that everybody else will enjoy, and you don't want to be made fun of or looked down upon, but candy's still candy. When it gets down to it, if you have candy, then it's a better day.
Your best bet really is, like, the strategy would be ask your roommates what's the candy that they hate. And then make a list of the candies that they hate, and then from that list you pick the one you really like, and then you get that.
Perfect.
So that way you don't have to worry about protecting your candy.
Well, I know there's a list somewhere of some of the top candy choices for Halloween, but maybe we'll talk about the list in a few.
Maybe, or we'll just keep reading text messages, whatever.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So the discussion we've been having is what's the best Halloween candy? People still sounding off. Todd says Snickers are the best. Katie is still up for sweet tarts. And you know what? The list just goes on and on. You feel free to go ahead, 877-2-RADIO-U, and get your call in as far as what your favorite candy is. Nikki, I'm looking at this list. I'm just going to go through the top 10.
Yeah, well, what's the list for, though? Like across the United States or what?
Okay, so this is random. This is somebody at NJ.com, which is like a New Jersey newspaper. They put together what they say are the 50 Halloween candies from worst to best. And so I'll tell you what they say the worst is, which hurts their overall thing. They say the blow pop is the worst candy that you can get.
No way. No.
I agree. I know.
Who's thinking that one? You could have way worse candies. There's a really long list of worst ones. Those were actually better than if you got any other sucker that didn't have anything extra in it. Those are good.
Oh, dude, look at this.
That seems like an angry writer.
It does, doesn't it? Somebody that's got hate in their heart.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
From some childhood trauma that happened around that, and they just can't get over it.
Come on. Nikki, they put Whoppers at 38.
See, that could go way behind a blow pop, because those are gross.
You know what? I disagree. I don't know what happened to me, but at some point I became a Whoppers fan.
Ugh.
I love malted milk balls. It's weird. It's weird. All right, sliding down through the top 10. Here we go. They say these are the 10 best candies that you can get. Twizzlers at number 10. Wrong. Twizzlers aren't good. I mean, like, they'll do in a pinch.
Yeah.
But they're not top 10.
No. Whenever you got that for Halloween, it was just like, all right, fine. Who wants to trade?
Okay, Skittles at number 9.
Those are good.
Candy corn at number 8.
Who got candy corn? Would you get candy corn if you were trick-or-treating and I got candy corn? That meant the person made it or something and you weren't allowed to have it.
Did you ever have somebody just like throw like a handful of candy corn in your bag?
No, candy corn. I thought you meant like a one of those popcorn balls. Okay, candy corn.
Okay. Yeah.
No, those are also off the list. I'm not a fan of those. But no, they just would toss them in the bag like without having a wrapper around it.
Yes. I've been there. I don't know what sort of insane people they were. Though I'll tell you this, I'm reading here, they say that you got to take your candy corn and mix it with popcorn.
And that would be better?
And it's supposed to be unbelievable. Where do people get this? Okay. Tootsie Rolls at number 7. Ugh. I love Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, come on.
I know, you do you. That's fine. Whatever.
The Reese's Take 5 at number 6. Have you ever had that? I think those are really good.
Yeah, I don't recall having it in form when I was a kid for trick-or-treating.
No, I've never received it for trick-or-treat. Starburst at number 5.
Those are good.
Butterfinger at number 4.
That's good.
Now, Nikki, here you go. This is something you can get on board for. We're going through favorite Halloween candies. Kit Kat at number 3.
Yes. That's a staple. You know how they say you're supposed to have staples when it comes to like your clothes and your food? That's a
so you can build a foundation.
That's a staple candy right there. That's a good choice.
All right. Twix at number 2.
That's not a good choice. That's not a staple.
Then the number 1, they say candy that you can get in your bag on Trick or Treat.
According to just this thing, it's not like
according to this, it's random. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's arbitrary. It's based on nothing. But they say it's the Reese peanut butter cup.
Yay! Woo!
I can get on board for that.
That's a good choice. That was a good choice.
Can I tell you though, when it comes to the Reese cup, I actually prefer the little ones.
Oh, you do?
Like the mini cup? Oh yeah, I'd rather eat like 3 mini cups than 1 regular sized cup.
Why? You can still have 3 regular-sized cups.
Also true.
No one's saying about sizing and like serving sizes. No one's bringing that up in this.
Listen, it's trick or treat, man. Caution to the wind. Caution to the wind.
It's been a tough year. If you eat a lot of the candy you were supposed to hand out, that's fine. No one's going to say anything. It's not like you can bring it to anybody if you want to be safe. You're just supposed to keep it there. Just eat it.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Man, continuing to have some rough stuff going on in the Disney sphere. Did you hear the news about Disney World, Nikki?
What was the news about Disney World?
Yesterday, they laid off 720 performers at the Disney park.
That's too bad. So the Disney World is the one that's been open for a while now, but they're saying because there's so few people compared to the mass amount of crowds that used to go through Disney World, because there's so few, and because of COVID rules, they cannot do the parades, they can't do those the same way. They can't have the characters out the same way. So the people that they always needed for the show portion of Disney when you were there at the park, they cannot allow those people to be out. And so then I guess that's where it's been hit the most. The performers have been hit the most.
Yeah, 720 of them. They say that they laid off. Okay. As I understand, that's the number from the I don't know if that's the number of Magic Kingdom or if that's for the like overall thing. But they ended up letting people go at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. So like all across the 4 parks that are there at Disney.
And they said if you were part-time, that's usually the hardest hit because they just wouldn't keep them on staff.
Yeah, they said that the cutbacks hit the cast of shows such as Monsters, Inc., Laugh Floor, which I didn't go to that the last time I was there.
Maybe it's not as popular, which is why they really cut the cast down.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But it basically, as Nikki was saying, like it's kind of the people that perform. So you're walking through Epcot and they have the Lion King cast performing. Not anymore because they can't. And so it's not happening. So this is one of those things that you look at it and wonder, does it do all those people hang out, and do they come back next year, or what does that look like?
Well, there's a whole world behind Disney of like internship programs, and you live in dorms for some of the cast members and stuff. So it's like it literally is like a little world that all the Disney performers live in. But then they can't live there. They can't do that still. And imagine now you're flooding the market with a lot of people trying to find a job in Orlando, and there's only so much with it being such a city that's based on tourism and tourism being affected so much. What are you going to do? So I bet some people maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a thing. Things got hit pretty hard at Disney. I had a friend that went to Epcot last week.
Did they like it, or meaning with all the changes and stuff?
He said they had a great time. I didn't ask as many questions as I should have, but sometimes you don't need to bug people.
Just let them enjoy the trip that they're taking. Just let them enjoy it.
Just let them go. Like, hey, listen, just for a while so I can get a vibe. Can you just can you live stream so I can watch?
Just tell me how it is. Well, we've heard a lot of people with their response, because we've known quite a few people that have still vacationed and gone to Disney World, but I haven't really met a lot of people who have gone to the other parks to see how it's been.
Yeah, well, there it is. Tough times for Disney World. So even a company with as much money as Disney has got to stay open in order to make things work.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but COVID is making a comeback. Like, if we were playing a game, the score is going up for Team COVID right now. So much so that, Nikki, in France, they've just started lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, they did. Well, a lot of places throughout Europe are going back to more intense lockdowns because everybody had a little bit of fun, I think, during the summer and the end of summer. And
No, I haven't had any fun.
Well, I'm just saying there. And in other places, they've had some fun times and fun and fancy and free. And
fun and fancy free.
They're showing increased numbers, though, so they're locking it back down.
They are. They have initiated a lockdown, a month-long lockdown. They are going to allow schools to stay open. But here's a list of what they're doing. You only get to leave home for essential journeys.
You should. What does one consider an essential journey? I guess
for
maybe
example,
the grocery store.
If you're taking the ring to Mordor, essential journey. Like, if you're going for groceries, do you have any peanut butter at home?
So they don't consider going for food essential?
No, they do.
Okay.
Anyone outside must carry documents. So I guess you got to have your ID with you. Police checks on people who leave home. Bars and restaurants are closing. All but essential workplaces are closing. The restrictions from, they go all the way from tomorrow is when this thing starts to December 1st.
And where is
this
basically
the month. This is in France.
In France.
So this is like the whole month of November. And they are saying that if you're from outside the EU, you can't come to France.
Mm-hmm.
So EU people, you're in, but like, let's say you were planning that Paris trip this November, you're not going.
You're not going. They won't let you in.
You're not coming in. Forget about it.
So it's kind of like, remember when we had our COVID quarantine start way back in the day, and we thought everything would be really shut down and like you wouldn't be able to go anywhere. But then we were kind of shocked at who all falls under the essential category. But like for us, we had papers that you would carry around in case someone would question if you were out. But again, so many people were still out during that time.
There was definitely fewer people, but more than you would think.
Yeah.
For sure. So France is doing this. I'm telling you, I'm no expert, but I think we're headed in this direction. If it were not for the election, I think we would be publicly having discussions about this in a much larger way because we're seeing larger numbers now than kind of we ever have. Am I an advocate? I'm a nothing. I'm just telling you that's what I think they're probably going to do.
Oh, he's not on Annie's side. He's right always in the middle, and that's the comfortable spot with the least amount of confrontation.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's
no arguing there in the middle.
It just is what it is. I hope everybody stays healthy, well, and employed. I don't know what it means. That's what I hope.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Well, Nikki, if you and I get stuck inside again, I know something I want to make sure I take with me.
What do you want to take?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk.
Oh, this stuff looks good. It looks so good. And I know we talked about a lot of candy today, but we're adding this as something we would like to have.
Just going to throw it into the mix. Now, keeping in mind that it's not available yet. They say that it's going to be nationwide in January of this year, but Nestle Sensations, which apparently is already a line of sweet milks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love the milk is already sweet.
Well, no, but this is something extra special, extra sweet.
It already has what they call like dairy sugars or whatever in it, and they're like, no. Let's put some more in there.
We can add more. They're making Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnamilk.
Cinnamilk. So it's a blend of cinnamon sugar with hints of the toasted cereal and, of course, some milk.
Now you can make your own. Anytime. You don't have to wait till January, but I am curious if their taste would be much sweeter than if you just had the milk left over if you ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Boy, that's a really tough call. I'm going to guess it's probably not as sweet if you... Like, meaning this stuff is not as sweet as a bowl of leftover milk from the cereal.
I know. It could
Don't you think?
I feel like it might be more concentrated, like more of a sweet overall taste, where sometimes when I do cereal milk, it's like the left side is super sweet, and then you get to the middle, and it's like, where did all the cinnamon spice go? So it'd be more, you could shake it up and stuff.
Well, Nikki, I'm going to help you with that because what you do is you go and have a bowl of cereal with the milk, and then don't drink the milk. Add more cereal, eat that cereal, but you eat that cereal without adding more milk.
Mm-hmm.
And that second bowl of cereal, I think, has a tendency to be even better than the first.
This is what it'll be like.
That milk will be concentrated in such a way that you'll be ready to have the Cinnamilk experience at home on your own.
So they're also doing the Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk, the Nesquik Dark Chocolate Whole Milk, and Protein Power Strawberry Milk will be their other new things.
Protein Power Strawberry Milk?
Yeah.
Is it just a protein shake?
Well, yeah, but strawberry flavor. Listen, You're just supposed to say, great, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
You just go along with it. You don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, it's fine. I'm game for giving this a shot. I'm not really a fruit of the cow much these days, but whatever. Throw some cinnamon in there and sure.
Well, there's a couple of things you could do with this. You could go against nature and put this in your cereal, and then make double Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk.
Whoa.
Because it would be super cinnamony. Or you could use this with your coffee or, again, make a smoothie with it. You could have lots of fun with it. You could put the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal milk in a different cereal and build it.
The possibilities
are endless. And that's what they're excited about.
Nikki's a mad scientist.
So it's not until January. Sometimes, though, with grocery stuff, it'll start showing even up to a month beforehand. So You might see it in December, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cinnamilk.
Oh, don't worry. I'm on the lookout.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
What is one of the most serious threats that are facing us here in the United States today? Slow internet.
Is that what? Maybe people would have put a few other things before that, but you're right. Everybody's at home because of certain things, and you have slower internet, and you want to fix it.
Slow internet is one of the greatest threats that our nation is facing.
They always talk about how in certain other countries, man, internet is next level, and we've never experienced it here like that because the United States is just so much bigger. The space between everything, the way to connect everything has to obviously be different than, say, if you were in Japan or something. But I just wish that we could come up with something to make it a little bit better improved.
Now, the other side of it is that in the United States, it's a lot better than it is in other places.
Yeah, that's
It just
true.
depends. So, Nikki, did you know that SpaceX is working on internet?
They're working on internet? For here or where? Or for space?
They have been launching satellites in which those satellites are there to offer internet service. I did not know that. I had no idea that was a thing.
It's called Starlink.
Starlink. Yep. And so the idea is that it's not ready for prime time just yet, but they are starting a beta that's called the Better Than Nothing beta. And so what they're saying is like, hey, we can't guarantee the speeds. It's going to be somewhere between 50 megabits down to 150 megabits down. They said the latency could be 20 to 40 milliseconds, which, again, for your average person surfing the internet, you're not going to care. If you're competitive gaming, then all of a sudden it's going to be an issue. But they're saying it's $500 to get the hardware.
Whoa.
After that, it's $100 a month.
It just seems very expensive, but maybe that's not so bad.
Well, as I understand it, they are, at least right now, not necessarily trying to target, let's say, you and me, who are able to get hardwired internet. This would be
areas that are not as, they don't have as good internet.
Yeah, they just, they're not running. My uncle, he lives in Tennessee. He lives like an hour outside of Nashville. He's allowed to use the internet once a month, and it costs $1,000.
Otherwise, they just don't have the capacity to have anything better there. So is that why it's called Better Than Nothing? So if you're in an area where this would be literally better than nothing.
Yeah, so it's interesting. The satellite receiver, it looks like a TV antenna. Like it's just this big antenna, and that's what it's for.
So the Better Than Nothing beta will be available in the United States and Canada this year, and then it'll be in other parts globally in 21.
Yeah, so they're testing it out. But I'll tell you, like, my internet down, I think I'm getting 100 megabits a second. I think that's what I get from my cable company, so I don't know. That's not bad.
It's not the $99 a month. I mean, that's more than we pay each month, but it's the $500 upfront hardware kit. That I've never had satellite before, so I guess I'm just not aware that. Is that how much it is if you have satellite? Do you always have to pay that much?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, when we started this break, what did I say? One of the greatest threats to Americans today, slow internet. So, Nikki, sometimes you've got to be willing to pay
to have better internet.
Well, to fight back against this menace that is ravishing our country.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
I don't know how your weekend went, maybe just your night last night, but I woke up in a new Bugatti, Nikki.
Did you? Wouldn't that be a really nice dream if you woke up in that? I'm not really into much of like supercar stuff, but Bugatti was always covered in like Top Gear and the Grand Tour, and that just ended up being a car that we don't know too much about, but every time I see one, they look pretty good.
Well, Nikki, they have unveiled the Bugatti Bolide, which is, they say...
their affordable everyday car?
It is. No, it's their new track car.
Oh, really?
Which goes from, are you ready for this? 0 to 311 miles per hour.
Yeah.
In 20 seconds.
Whoa, that is so fast. So quickly.
20 seconds.
So what is it called?
It's called the Bugatti. I'm calling it the Bolide. It's probably like the Bolide or something. I don't actually know
so it's
the correct way to pronounce it.
It's a hypercar that is a super light hypercar that they have.
It has a 1,825 bhp. Is that horsepower? And it can go... Oh, wow, that's also impressive. So it can go from 0 to 311 in 20 seconds, and then it can go back to 0 in 36 seconds.
Gosh, it's so impressive.
So it is capable of going to 311 miles an hour and stopping in a minute.
So if you're wanting this Bugatti, the thing is, it's not even like a normal Bugatti. You really can't buy these unless you're like super wealthy. It's basically a performance track-only car. So Ferrari and Lamborghini does the same things, but they say that a few wealthy customers who want to have like a private race car for your own collection, but it's not, let's see, cars like this, they don't have the crash safety equipment required for road cars, so they don't have airbags, they don't have specialized safety gear. So I don't think they don't even have like racing stuff that some other racing things will have. So I don't think you can even drive this anywhere, but you can own it for some people in a collection as long as it stays inside.
Right. And again, it's one of those things where they can take it on certain tracks and race it. But I mean, dude,
but if you're not a race driver, you can't. Yeah.
No, and 311 miles an hour. I mean, you hit a bug and that car's just gonna blow up. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, the amount of just like expertise you would have to take that car. All right, Nikki? What's the fastest a car has gone where you've been driving it? You think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how fast do you think a car has driven. I haven't even done any of the fun like track things, so no, just a normal car speed.
All right. I've been up over triple digits a few times, and I'll have to say where you get to a point where it's like, listen, I'm not a good enough driver to drive like
you can't
like,
you can't handle it.
Yeah, like there's just, some things about it.
So the car itself is also limiting depending on your body size. It's a little over 3 feet tall for aerodynamics. It's
my gosh, 3 feet tall.
It's about a foot shorter than some of their other Bugattis. And so you must sit on the door sill and put your legs inside before you can slide over into the seat. You just can't physically fit into it.
That is crazy.
So we don't have to worry about it. We're not getting into this thing, but it is a super light hypercar.
It is, right? Like it's crazy. It can't go 311 miles per hour with me in it because you probably have to weigh like 50 pounds to make it work.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Listen, you're all grown up, but you still like to have a good time. Well,
what are you going to do?
The people at Play-Doh know what you're saying. And have you seen this?
Well, I saw that it's adult like Play-Doh, meaning the scents and smells are for more grown-up things, but I didn't see what the list of what it's supposed to smell like.
So the idea is you get to play with Play-Doh, but as Nikki said, it has adult smells to it. So mom jeans is one of the smells. Spa day is one of them, and so is coffee. In fact, what I like is it's not coffee smelling, it's called overpriced latte.
I like the names that go with it. You got smoked meats, there's fresh cut grass, that's also a smell for Play-Doh.
Well, but Nikki, you're not getting the branded name. The fresh cut grass is Lord of the Lawn.
Oh, I missed that part.
The meat smell is called Grill King.
And these come in a 6-pack, so it's all in one. Like, you have to buy them. Well, I mean, are they sold separately, or do they
I don't. The packaging here makes it look like you may be able to buy them separately.
Individually. Okay. Well, the overpriced latte, I'm looking at that one. The Spa Day one, seeing that one as well. They look interesting. What are you supposed to do with them, though?
Play with them.
Are they trying to replicate the adult coloring book trend that took off for so long?
You know what I think they're doing here? They're saying, hey, we got all this Play-Doh laying around. What can we do? So you take this Play-Doh, you put some funny stuff on it, you put a funny scent on it, and all of a sudden a ton of people that would not have bought Play-Doh will buy Play-Doh this Christmas and give it as stocking stuffers and gifts and whatever. So that's what I think that is. I think it's a short term.
Did you mention the Dad Sneakers one? That's another one?
No, that is one of the other ones, Dad Sneakers, which that's probably not what I'm going for.
Cute idea. They don't say when they're available or how much it'll be. Like, are we paying adult prices for this Play-Doh? Or what is it going to cost everybody?
I mean, it can't be that much more. Well, okay, why did I say that?
Why did I say that?
Why did I say that?
There's going to be 6 4-ounce cans in total. The colors are brown, green, red, blue, pink, and white. And then they have the aromas are meant to evoke everyday things that bring adults joy, which I would not agree with, but brand new shoes or freshly cut grass. And then they had fun with the naming of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if Dad Sneakers smells like new shoes, okay. But I got to tell you, when I hear Dad Sneakers, the last thing I'm thinking is, this smells like new, good shoes.
This is it.
It makes me think my dad hasn't bought new shoes in 15 years and they reek.
In fact, like Obi, he prides himself on the fact that his shoes are still going, and it's been years.
Nikki, I got a pair of Adidas that are 3 years old right now.
And they're still working. Justin said, who
Still
has
wearing
time
them,
to
baby.
play with Play-Doh? It would be more fun if you could eat the Play-Doh, like if it was a icing sort of different mixture. But yeah, I agree, Justin. I mean, what else are we supposed to do here?
Hey, man, for me, I would much rather just have some Play-Doh that smells like Play-Doh. I love the smell of Play-Doh.
A regular one?
Oh,
yeah, they didn't need to go through and do
it's
all this.
It smells so good. So good. Like, I'll just tell you right now, if you need to chill, just straight up get some regular Play-Doh, smell it, and, work with it a little bit. I used to have Play-Doh at my desk.
Yeah, but then you know what I just thought? You know what's that show on TLC where like the lady ate the chalk and the inside of the sofa?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yep.
I don't want us
My
to...
Strange Addiction.
Yeah, you know how like you don't know you have a problem until it starts and it's too late? I just don't want any of us to have a Play-Doh problem where we're eating it. So
That's a legitimate concern.
It would be a shame if that developed during this year because you don't want to add that to everything else. It's not a good thing.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Nikki, I don't like you as much since you've grown up.